Yeah, look, first of all, just to say, nobody can predict the future, not even Eskom, and they often get it wrong. So one's got to be careful about making definitive forecasts, but talk in general terms. The one thing that I believe is that this year is going to be more difficult than last year. And the reason I say that is because right now we have one unit at Medupi that is 800 megawatts that is out of service for 2 years as a result of the explosion that occurred on unit number 4. It cannot be repaired quickly. It's going to take 2 years to get that back. So that puts pressure on. And secondly, Koeberg Power Station is undergoing a so-called life extension program. So one of the units at the moment is shut down. It's going to be shut down for something like 5 months and to do various work. And then shortly after it comes back up again, the second unit will go down for 5 months. And they've just had some problems on the first unit that they're busy working on. So although it's going to be down for 5 months, it's going to have to be down for another 5 months next year. So Koeberg is letting the side down because this project is taking a lot longer than they expected. That's going to leave us without 900 megawatts for a period of 15 months, three times 5 months. So that's putting additional pressure over and above the normal breakdowns that occur randomly at Eskom, both unplanned breakdowns as well as planned outages for planned maintenance. So last year was a record year for the number of hours lost to load shedding and the number of gigawatt hours of energy lost to the productive economy through load shedding. I expect this year to be more difficult, in other words, more hours of load shedding and more gigawatt hours of energy lost to the economy as a result of load shedding because of the reasons that I've given you. Of course, it all depends on the level of unplanned breakdowns, which is kind of random and unpredictable. But planned outages are predicted, and Eskom is trying to catch up on planned maintenance, so they don't want to cut back on planned maintenance. In fact, if anything, they want to do more planned maintenance. So all of this coming together, you know, needing to do more planned maintenance, more outages, more unplanned outages, plus Koeberg, plus Medupi, means that I think things are going to get harder this year, and even next year as well.
There are rumors of a political onslaught and sabotage. What sort of pressure does this? Is it true? And what sort of pressure does that put on the power supplier?
Yeah, look, first of all, to say, I think one's got to be very careful about just making allegations of sabotage. It should not just be an excuse for poor performance. And you know, in the past, there is a kind of a knee-jerk reaction to blame sabotage. I want to point to, you may remember the famous bolt in the stator issue at Koeberg Power Station, where a generator failed as a result of this bolt in the stator after a repair. And the minister at the time, Mr. Alec Irwin, famously blamed sabotage and sort of dark forces at work. But it turned out to be just negligence. So I generally say, never blame a conspiracy when simple incompetence will explain it just as well. Conspiracies are difficult things to undertake. But having said that, there has been evidence at Eskom, at least in one case that I know of, where it appears that power lines were deliberately collapsed. And they found evidence that that the steel work and the stays had been cut, and there was clear evidence of that. So I think there are incidents, there can be incidents of so-called sabotage. But bigger than that, I think, is the problem of loss of morale of people at Eskom and people not doing their job properly because of loss of morale, loss of motivation. Sometimes also loss of, they feel they're not being paid well enough, even though they are. So labor disputes can lead to what some people might call sabotage and other people might call, labor action like working to rule. So if you withhold your labor as a result of an industrial dispute, is that sabotage? Well, it all depends on your point of view. But it's not sabotage in the strict sense of the word. So I just feel that there are a number of issues. There can be sabotage, but we shouldn't be quick to jump to that conclusion unless there is compelling evidence.